Okay, so a big question is rather the Federal Reserve on Wednesday, August 20th meeting is going to be dovish or hawkish. And we're all thinking about that. I'm sure everyone is, especially as we watch Bitcoin trade and then of course so many other assets. So the purpose of this video is there's really no purpose. I thought I'm gonna spend a decent portion of the night just looking at articles, looking at the charts, kind of, looking at rather or not the setups that I talked about in the other video earlier today and before this one is really in line with realistic expectations for potentially taking a longer or short. So I thought if I'm gonna be sitting here thinking out loud, or if I'm gonna be sitting here thinking about this FOMC meeting, I might as well record it and just think out loud. So pretty much, everything I'm gonna say in this video is just my own opinion. It's just gonna be me looking at stuff and just thinking out loud. So there's really no purpose. But I thought maybe some people might find it entertaining or at least helpful to just listen to someone think out loud um, as they do a little bit of research on this important meeting coming up, right? So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. The U.S. economic calendar. I know that the meeting is going to be, let's see, it's 2 p.m. Eastern time in the U.S. So I think the market should still be open, I believe. For sure, yeah, I think that's midday. Um, but it's gonna be really interesting. I believe Jerome Powell is the one that's gonna be speaking there. A lot of people are gonna be paying attention to him, and then a lot of the stuff he's gonna look at for the most part is gonna be the U.S. economy, just jobs, right? How many people are are showing signs of struggling due to the numbers. I know a couple weeks ago we had that jobs report that came out to be really really bad. It was so bad that it even dumped the market. When of course looking at a lot of these negative jobs reports are good for higher potential of getting a rate cut, but in this case, it was so bad it just dropped it a lot. So I'm trying to see if there's I'm trying to see if there's like a chart somewhere. I don't really think it matters too much because also I know CPI came in pretty much flat, and then the PPI that came out most recently was a bit higher than a lot of people wanted to see. So I'm just trying to see what we can find here. I don't think a lot of these articles are. Oh, they are up to date. It's kind of weird. Oh, here we go. I mean, a lot of this doesn't really matter too much at the end of the day because, I mean, we're all expecting the Fed to say, that they're just going to be waiting on more information to come out. Things are good and bad, as in, things are getting worse with the jobs reports. Uh, I think there was something else too. I can't spell right now. Okay. So I think besides that, there was, oh, right here, yeah, on Thursday. So it comes out afterwards, unfortunately. But there's an initial initial jobless claim. I think previous was 224,000. It's expected to tick up 1,000. Um, that's a really small like difference. So I feel like I feel like it can easily be more than 225,000. So um, rather not. Let's just say he is hawkish during this Wednesday meeting and the markets tank. Well, I mean, it would be fair to say that just it's a 1,000 difference. So, you know, I wonder what the likelihood of that actually coming in higher would be. Um I don't know, maybe because there's a good chance he'll probably be hawkish in a way. because of course that recent inflation report was also kind of high. Maybe this allows a little bit of leg room to potentially pump the market if the Wednesday meeting is negative, right? I mean that's probably something to look at as well. What else is there? I know that right now with Bitcoin, I closed out that BitU trade I showed in that video earlier today. But you know, the idea is that we're still going higher. Like I still believe personally that we got new all-time highs, soon enough this year, regardless of what the Fed says, regardless of whether we get a rate cut this year or not. I really don't think it matters. I believe we're still set up to go higher. I mean, if bearishness was the highlight, I feel like it would have been, I feel like this swing high would have not been higher than this. But besides that, the dip, we consolidated within the yellow retracement like so well that, I mean, this could easily broke a lot sooner, but instead it broke afterwards, and that was um I believe it's Monday, right? Yeah, it's Monday. So yeah, all of this just happened naturally, and it fell lower. So, but it kind of it's still holding somewhat support. That the overall green extension area is somewhat acting as support. The price found it just above 114,500. But we're still in a downtrend too. So it's like the question is if this uptrend is very much still alive, and the possibility of this previous retracement area that didn't get the point 0.5 at 110.7, or it's like 110.75 basically k, never got broken. And then that kind of makes me start to think that, well, as we approach this meeting, what can we be looking at? Well, regardless of even what that jobs report ends up being like, well, this, if you guys like Elliott waves too, from the moment we topped out for the first time within the green overall big picture bull cycle, top area for a conservative top somewhere from now to 150k, 128k being the next target area for me, at least in the short term. Um, Regardless of me selling that position, and I explained why. Again, we broke support, and that was already good enough to sell, right? Because if we break that support, it's likely that we can trend a bit more into this red area, and then I would like to open up a new long at that point. Um, Unless we just confirm support here, get a bit of an uptrend going where we potentially go into this short-term blue resistance. And then, at that point, it's like, just like I said in the video, like, following the price higher, seeing if we can hold a higher low, break whatever swing high we create at the time, and then, well, just we'll continue up from there. So it really depends too, because like, and this another reason, and I explained it in the video, was this meeting is like a big question mark. Like, there's just, I don't really think there's any clue, rather or not they're gonna be leaning more towards hawkish or bearish, because again, like all the reports that came out recently have balanced each other out. There was like ones that were positive for a rate cut, and then ones that kind of make it easier for them to hold back. So it really depends. I feel like since that jobless claims report is going to be after the meeting, the day after, maybe they're just going to say what they always been saying, and then we'll get a better idea what that September meeting could be like. I know there's like a chart on I forgot what website it was, but it gives you expectation and through percentages on where, you guys probably know what I'm talking about, on the high likelihood of a rate cut. I feel like it probably dropped, but I think if that jobless claims report comes in above 125k, then it will probably go up even more, regardless of what is said on Wednesday. So if Wednesday dumps the market, well, regardless, that's good, right? Because I mean, I sold the long. I had my reasons to. Um, and then it will let us come further down within this red area. Ideally, if we can break the point 0.5 at 111.3, basically 111.4k. If it breaks that, it can allow the price to actually, hit 110, and it'll be within the median area of the bearish support extension. It will also be a lower low from here. So if like a lot of you like the more of a bigger picture Elliott wave count for like a 3 wave move down, well, I mean, that's a pretty solid big picture first overshooting second wave, right? And then the third wave, ideally, right, would be lower than the first wave end. And then we can find really attractive potential long accumulation down here. If this happens quick, like during that meeting or even towards the end of the trading week, um, it can allow us to probably, if it comes down there, right? So that's the question, if it's going to happen. But I feel like it depends what happens Wednesday and then also that jobless claims report. But if the price dips further into the red, and then, you know, I may be interested in just like lightly accumulating, not aggressively. Like maybe I'll start off with like $10,000 to $20,000 worth of like BitU, and then I'll keep accumulating as we potentially come into the discounted portion of the red, and that'll be like a super solid, one more low before we go up higher, with the idea that the bull market is still alive. And I feel like this meeting and the jobless claim report at the end of the day will probably reignite that, you know, that hype potentially, right? We got to see what happens uh during those 2 days, the jobs report and then the FOMC. But if it reignites the hype of a potential September rate cut, then it's very easy that I think the retracement resistance will be broken really easily. It depends, right? We gotta see. We still have another whole day. We still got to get through Tuesday and then through like basically the first half of the trading day Wednesday, and that's starting to make me think too. I'm like, a lot of this like really good buying opportunity as well happen usually during closed market hours, like around basically overnight in the U.S. So I'm tempted of going back, not like 100% leaving like BitU and then just trading spot Bitcoin, but it makes me want to like divide it in half, right? Because a lot of this, like even whatever is said on Wednesday, like there's like a quick reaction to it, and then usually we'll see the price settle, or the price stop overreacting, and then it starts to trade a little bit more in line with what investors are expecting going forward. So then I don't know, like being able to trade BitU and then also trading spot Bitcoin on the side might be like a good idea for me. I'm gonna look into that, and if I do, I'll show you guys. But yeah, we have like that meeting coming up, right? So until then, and we still have that tomorrow. I think really what I'm gonna be looking for, and I'm not trying to make this video super long or anything, but I just want to like think out loud and share with you guys. But I'm gonna be doing like more research. I'm gonna be watching the price closely. Um, Going forward, throughout the rest of the night and then into tomorrow. But the also it's very interesting too, because like this is the last swing high right here before we had that break of structure downward, creating the 0.618 at 116.7k to be broken. And then it's kind of funny too, like it's amazing how most of the time these line up really well. So it's like there's so much fear, like short term at least, and I think it's mostly due to the PPI report. But that's just speculation, my opinion. But like the price couldn't even, it failed. Like this retracement area was higher. I pulled it down for this move. We couldn't even reach it, you know, where it was at the time, and then we came down lower and we're trying to pump higher. We couldn't even hit the 120 moving average. We like, you know, there's still some room. I mean, we haven't broken this swing low just yet, but there's still some room for the price to go higher, even though it's below the moving average within the RSI. And it's very likely. Look at that, it's dipping. It found resistance in the short term with a simple retracement. So it's like, it's very likely we'll dip into the red and potentially even create another low. And that's really a big reason why I sold. The possibility of this happening, it's still happening. Like, it hasn't happened yet. It's trying to. Um, I mean, it's just it's very interesting too, because like the moment we broke below the 0.618, I was already looking to sell because I said this previously too. It's like, well, if we break below this line, then, well, chances are, coming a little bit deeper into this red area will be very high, it'll be a high possibility, allowing the previous retracement to also be filled a bit more. I mean, it can easily pump from here. We'll see what happens, but as of right now, it looks like that's where it's heading. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do another one of these tomorrow when we have a little bit more price action to look at, just a thinking out loud kind of video, because it's a bit too early, right? Like we got to see where the price trends to tomorrow. And then of course we'll look at overnight stuff, and then uh, actually get into the FOMC on Wednesday and see what happens from there. But I'm very happy not having any short term exposure to Bitcoin right now, because this is a big question mark, right? And we're having these bearish break of structures. As of right now, we're still holding this downtrend going lower. So it's like, there's no reason to be like forcing a trade or anything. It's better to wait for a solid setup. And for me, like honestly, like I'm more focused less on like Elliott waves right now. Like as of recent, I've been more focused on value within the all these fib structures, because I mean I failed to sell within this retracement area. I broke one of my rules, and I said this in the video too. It's like my rules are always at a minimum shave. Once we enter a potential top represented by either a retracement or an extension, it's a good idea to sell, right? I mean, we were in this area, we made a new all-time high. Um, it's there. It's telling me to start locking in profit, and I didn't. So I broke one of my rules. Um, I mean, I paid the price for it. Uh, but now, like, I want to be very focused on these value structures, because I mean, as of right now, we had enough momentum to break this red area. Uh, Again, like this is like basically like a day or two prior to the FOMC, so there's still enough room for it to come down, and then if it comes down enough, the FOMC could pump it. Regardless, we just have to see, because then that jobs report is right after, and we can have a quick like two break of structures happening like within a 48-hour time frame. Basically, like we just gotta keep an eye on that. I forgot what time the jobless report was, but then as of right now, we're still holding this downtrend. We're still making lower lows and lower highs like consistently. So it's just waiting for. I mean, right now this is an attractive price in my opinion. Like I believe we can hit 128K. I mean, I've explained so many reasons why I believe that. So I mean, anything below 120K is quite attractive at the end of the day. But if we can go further into this area, that would be even better. And as well, again, like we're not very far from the swing low, and we can easily hit the previous point 0.5. And then we have the overlapping support areas right here. Like this is something that I'm keeping an eye on very closely. And regardless of breaking the rule right here, like I'm not one to fall into FOMO. I don't get like hyped up on trades or anything. Um, for the most part, like during this time, I was looking at the price. I'm like, I should sell. I mean, the RSI has maxed out. We're in a resistance area, so it's like, you know, we're not that far away from 128K. But then it's kind of funny too, because I think the video before we topped out right here, I was like, well, there's a good chance it can top out, and then it can come down and potentially come revisit this area. I mean, that's exactly kind of like what we're seeing right now. So it's kind of funny how all that works out. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Let me know if you guys enjoy these like thinking out loud videos. Um, if you guys like it, I'll do more. I mean, I do this stuff like all the time. I'm just looking at charts. I'm just thinking to myself. So I mean, why not record it? So yeah, let me know if it's a pretty chill video, just kind of seeing what's up, and or maybe next time we'll live stream it. I don't know. You guys let me know if this is something any of you are actually interested in, and then we'll check it out, right? So yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one.